Hey everyone, I'm sorry, I thought Duncan was welcome to my board game. No, that's a lie. Welcome to Sniper Elite Board Game. Duncan, what is your official job title?
I am head of Rebellion Unplugged, and I didn't design this, but I've led the development of it with David and Roger. So kind of designing maps, tweaking the rules, building on their kind of core system.
Awesome. Me and Jordan are from the game side, so we are the
digital game
noobs
side.
to the slaughter. Yeah, sorry, the digital game side. That's going to be a confusing one now.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
All part of the same family.
Same Rebellion family, different sides of Rebellion. This stream, I'm going to be playing as Karl, so I apologise. I hope I don't die too quickly. And Jordan and Duncan will be the defenders.
Yeah, so I'm going to let Jordan take the lead of the defending, only because I don't want to completely crush you. So I'm going to kind of jump in.
Guide.
Yeah.
Well, you know, chat through some options and stuff. Jordan's going to be your first game, whereas Rob has played it once or twice at this stage. So kind of talk through some of it. Well, yeah, it'll be fine. I'm not too worried.
Don't help him too much.
To quickly revamp for chat in case you missed the last two streams. This is Sniper Elite, the board game. Currently on Kickstarter, going back it. We're about to unlock our last stretch goals, which I shall announce at the end of the stream because they will be going up in about an hour and a half.
Wow.
The way that the game works, up to 3 players, which is going to be us in this case, are playing as German defenders, defending their base from an attacking sniper, which is to say Karl, which is to say Rob. Rob isn't on the board, Karl isn't on the board. Karl's movements are tracked on a smaller version of the board that's dry erase.
Here we go.
Hold it up to the camera.
I can do the camera.
So each map, which is the same main board,
light
has
out
a
of it.
smaller dry erase board, and Rob will be tracking his movements with a dry white marker on that board, keeping where he is secret from us. His objective is, or his goal, I should say, he's going to draw 2 cards at random, and those cards are going to have a number on them.
Just put them the right way.
And that is going to be his objective for this game. So for the sake of argument, if he drew
6 and
those,
9.
he will be looking for space 6 over here and space 9 over here. To win the game, he has to get to those spaces and complete the objective, which is to say reveal the card. For us to win the game, we either have to slow him down enough that the round counter runs down, or we have to find him and hit him twice, which will kill him. We gain information about where he is by kind of figuring out where he was in earlier turns. We know that he can't have 2 different objectives or more than one objective in each sector. So the board is split here into red, yellow, and red, green, yellow sectors. And there's also some areas in white here that are neutral. In the final game, this is going to be, we've already revised the artwork on this. I just don't have a new printing of the board yet, but it's black, red, white, and yellow, so it's fully colorblind friendly.
That helps me.
Which I know you will appreciate. What another important thing is that there are 4 potential starting positions: one here, one over there, and one just down here. Rob can't start in a starting position that matches the sector of one of his objectives. So for the sake of argument, if he had 1 and 2, he couldn't start there or there. He'd have to start somewhere down this end of the board. So for Rob, essentially he's playing a bluffing game, plus shooting with kind of push your luck elements. For us, we're kind of playing a puzzle game where the puzzle is what the hell is going on in Rob's mind. We'll kind of raise everything as we come to it, but the main things you need to know, Rob has some special equipment that's part of his loadout. We'll avert our eyes from the main camera here.
Yeah.
So he chooses 3 pieces of kit in secret, and those are kind of bonus actions that he can take in his turn. I'm not going to try hard not to look at them. Yeah. Some of those he'll play face down, so he can kind of bluff us as to what he's actually playing. And some of them, it only makes sense to kind of reveal as you play it because you take the action immediately. So one of the ones, for example, is a rock. So we can throw the rock and get one of our soldiers to move out of the way. when he moves, he can move up to 3 spaces. If he moves 2 or 3 spaces close to one of our guys, we hear a noise, so we can use that to figure out where he is. He can't move through our guys, so one of our number 1 strategies is going to be trying to kind of block paths and pen the sniper into different areas once we try and figure out where he is. Game of kind of choosing our moments, I think, more than anything else. And the last thing is he has a shot bag, which he's going to want to shuffle thoroughly because we only just loaded it. But when he takes a shot, he's going to declare a number of tokens to draw from his bag and then draw exactly that many. He needs at least 1 hit token for each space between him and his target, but if he draws 2 noise tokens, he gives away his position. So every single time he takes a shot, he has to decide how important it is to make that kill and whether or not he's willing to risk revealing his position by drawing more tokens to make sure he gets those hits. That's the gist. We have 3 squads. Each squad's going to take 2 actions. Everything else we'll explain as we go.
All right, should I draw some objectives?
Let's draw some objectives.
Right.
Obviously keep these secret.
We need to not see your objectives.
Okay, so I'm going to close my eyes so you can show them to chat.
Fine, I'll close my eyes.
I suggest you, as well as showing them the cards, I suggest you point it out on the board. Just
Okay,
so
I'm going to have to
exactly
redraw one because...
So there's suits on the cards, and the cards are actually modelled after old... This is an interesting story.
Okay.
The Red Cross sent prisoners of
I'm
war
just going to
decks
show
of
the
cards.
chat now where I'm going.
So the Red Cross sent
There we go, chat.
care
Taking it
packages
away
to
now.
prisoners of war during the Second World War,
Okay, you
and
can
the
look again,
decks
guys.
of cards that were put in those packages were infiltrated by military intelligence. So if you wet the cards and pull them apart, they form the map. So we've based the objective cards on those historical playing cards. And the purpose of the suit is that basically each suit corresponds to a sector. So if you draw 2 of a kind, you know to just toss one and draw another, and that means each combat, like you're never going to have 2 objectives that are too close to one another. So, snipers up first. Rob's going to
Okay, so I'm going to have to...
bluff, not knowing what he's doing.
Okay. I want to give it away by looking at the board too.
So you can rotate it. You can look at this
Oh,
one.
I can look at this one, can I? Right, okay.
Just make sure you have it turned away from me, mate, because I want to social distance, but also not be looking at your end of the board.
God, I feel like all the pressure now.
Well, it's a tense game.
Okay, so I'm going to draw
strategy
on
and
the
bluff.
board where I am.
Okay. Just, again, try and tilt that away from me as much as you can.
Okay, should I show chat where I've ended up?
Sure, why not?
You-
You're going to have to look away a second.
I'm not looking.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to make sure it's coming through on the camera.
Are you sure you want to start there, Rob?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sure.
So look, this is the entrance I took, everyone, and I moved just up.
Oh, you've moved. You've moved
Actually,
already.
should I say up?
no.
Up doesn't mean anything to you. Right, okay.
Which way are you holding?
I'm turning it away,
Okay.
and it's your turn.
All right. Let's
So
crush him.
you've moved.
Maybe
If we
maybe I
kill
haven't.
him too quickly, can we play 2 games?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're hunting him down.
Look at the
so-
mind games. It's getting difficult. The
So
board game's easy. It's just everyone else.
let's. What am I going to do first? So, right, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move the scout 3 spaces.
So
That's
we can only
the-
move the yellow
Oh,
up, so we can only move up to 2 spaces.
Yeah.
He can move
Sorry, he can
faster
move
than
3.
we can.
It's
Yeah.
2 for me. So, okay, I'm going to move the scout 2 spaces.
He's not a scout, is he? He's an officer.
Yeah,
He is.
So
yeah.
he's
Oh,
the
okay.
officer scout.
So
yeah.
each of the squads has a specialist officer. That was me tapping the table.
Oh, I thought someone was knocking on the door.
So for this game, we've assigned the scout to the yellow team. The scout can move one of the soldiers anywhere on the board twice a game. The medic to the red team. The medic can mean soldiers survive a shot, and the Jaeger to the black team, or to kind of green.
So
in this case.
the scout I've moved to here because I think
Yeah.
the scout's going to do a good job of blocking that alleyway.
So that's one.
Plus, if
block action.
your objective is the U-boat, he's in a pretty good position to block that.
Yeah, I think that's sensible play.
And
Easy.
let's move. I'm
Good to
gonna
see everyone in chat just while Jordan's thinking.
I'm gonna move this guy out into the alleyway from the red team.
Gotcha, yeah, that's one of the
Block the
actions.
alleyway off there, just in case you're trying to sneak through.
There you go. Rudy just got his pledge in.
Hey.
Thank you.
What else?
thank
What else
you.
am I going to do? I'm going to also. I'm going to move this officer out to here so I can try and block this alleyway. That's
That's
a,
That's one of your
green
grades,
one?
yeah, so
That's a
one more
Jaeger.
each. I would suggest we try and get somebody on this road here.
yeah, that's pretty open, isn't it?
Yeah, so
Duncan,
Especially-
you said you were going to go easy on me.
a couple of things. We could bring this guy out. We could bring, I mean, we don't actually, so the
so we
sniper
still
can't
have-
move into a space that has our guy in it.
Right.
So for the sake of talking it through, right, sniper can move up to 3 spaces. So sniper could have moved there,
Yeah, he could have
right,
done
and
that.
it could have been silent. If we moved that guy there, he's not actually blocking the sniper because the sniper can't move into a space with a soldier, but a soldier can, but he can move out of a space with a soldier if the soldier kind of comes to him. So if we moving there, I think, isn't actually a good idea. But if we got somebody here, we're blocking that whole path from him now, and he's going to have to kind of
Yeah.
slow down and come around this way. Well, we could use the yellow guy to
Use
do
the
that
yellow
either. It
guy.
doesn't really matter which of them we do, but kind of blocking off those choke points is generally a good idea.
Okay. So,
I'm going to be dead in no time.
hope so. So I think yeah. So I think what I might do then is move the yellow guy out to here.
Cool.
And then I've still got to move on the red team, haven't I?
You
So
got one red and one
I
green still,
will-
yeah.
I think I'll move this guy out to here, so he's blocking that alleyway as well.
That's a green, isn't it?
That's a red.
That's a red
Oh,
one.
sorry.
And then I've still got to move on.
Colourblind,
Green.
sorry.
I have a black. Sorry, well, it's green on this board, but black team.
So,
So
So brutal. Talking about stretch goals, Duncan just said he's going to announce some more at the end of the stream.
yeah, they would be being announced now if I wasn't here.
Sorry, we've delayed the new stretch goals by being on stream.
My apologies.
I think I'm going to move this guy out to here as well.
Okay, I think
Just
that's
in
your
case you
entire
try
turn
and
then, isn't
sneak past the rail yard. So that's me, isn't it? That's me done.
it? Okay, it's going to be my
I feel
turn.
like
then.
I feel like I've done a good job of blocking most of these streets
Oh,
off.
do you? That's just so not true, is it?
Just tilt that away from me, Rob.
Sorry. You got like the best eyesight ever.
Don't. I just.
Can't help looking.
Stop looking at me. Right, I'm going to move. Right, I'm just going to show chat where I've gone. So you're going to have to, again,
Oh, I'm not looking.
cover your eyes. I don't trust you at all,
Okay,
Jordan.
go on.
Right. So just saying,
Oh,
that was my starting position. And so far, this has happened. I've gone. Okay, I've been really careful with my own wording now because I know you two are listening in. Right, good. Your turn, guys.
so two things I want to say. One, I'm deeply enjoying how much Rob is already fully tilted.
I am tilted.
Um,
Or am I tilted?
but also, I'm trying very hard not to think about the fact that he used the phrase up earlier and trying not to let that affect.
But have you noticed, though, that the board is upside down from here? So that's
true.
moving down.
That's true.
Rudy's saying I said this has happened, but I'm trying to talk to you guys. Not let them know.
I mean, as well, we said we weren't going to look at chat as well because chat.
You're not
we
allowed
did,
to look
yeah.
at chat.
We're not allowed to look
Okay.
at chat.
So,
think-
yeah, don't tell chat that we're not allowed to look at
oh,
chat because
wait,
they're
I
definitely
can-
going to try and twist us
So
about.
I think now might be a good opportunity to do an intel.
Do an
scan.
intel, yeah. So intel, you can skip the actions for a particular squad for a turn, take intel instead, and ask the sniper, are they in the matching sector? So
So I think my yellow squad is actually quite nicely positioned. I'm not really wanting to move any of them right now. So
yeah, it makes
I'm
sense
thinking,
to me.
are you in the yellow quadrant?
Let me have a look. Stop looking at my eyes. Yes.
Oh, you are. You're in yellow. Ooh.
Good.
Okay, we know where you are. We know where
Okay,
you are.
so
Now I'm going to start drilling down these enemies on your position.
can I talk this through for chat for a second?
Oh, right.
Okay, so
Jumping the gun here.
he's in yellow, right? It's the end of turn 2, so he has to be at most 6 spaces away from one of the entrances. Let me do my kind of Sherlock numbers moving around in front of my head.
Well,
You're too good at this.
He couldn't have started in red, right?
He couldn't have. This is going to be my first point. So, because he couldn't have started in red, ignore me. I was about to
So
say.
does that mean then
I'm
No.
so dead.
So he could have 8 or 9, right? Because we know he didn't start in red.
right? So those could be his objectives.
Those could be his objectives. He could have started in green, yellow, or white. If he started in white, he couldn't have moved into that space in the first turn because this guy's here, right? So we could have gone 1, 2, and then maybe 1 silently. There's a strong possibility he could be there.
Yeah.
Okay, now he could have also come up this way. These spaces with the binoculars in them, this is kind of an earlier version of the board, so they're boot in the later version. He could have kind of come in here into this building. He could be here, maybe. He could be here. Right, those are all plausible locations for where he might be.
But that would put him in yellow, wouldn't it?
That would put him in yellow, that's what I'm saying. So like,
yeah.
I don't think he could be there, for example, because it takes 2 movement to move into this space.
Unless his first move he didn't move.
So, but what I'm saying is, like, if he didn't move in his first move, he wouldn't get into yellow.
Yeah,
So,
Oh, okay,
so if he came in here and he's in yellow now, he's in one of these 3
Yeah,
spaces,
right.
I reckon. If he came in
That's
green,
interesting.
he could be 1, 2, 3. He could have gotten to there, and then from there he could be anywhere down here. Really, he could be 1, 2. He could, yeah. I mean, it's entirely
There's a lot
possible
of
he could
maths
be
in
there.
this section.
1, 2,
here.
3, 1, 2, 3. He could very easily already be on objective 3. Also, he could have gone up this way, so he could have gone 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So he could be on either of those spaces. Luckily, Sniper Elite the board game comes with tracking cubes that are not going to be this color, but are going to be like this to make it easier for the defending players to track down where the sniper might be. So he could be here.
Okay, so these are guesses.
Yeah. Well, this is like
Like,
information we
yeah.
have, right? So if you did 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, he could be there or there or there. Now, we could put cubes down here for kind of coming up this direction, or we could put some for coming in here, but honestly, the space of possibility is so wide up here that I'm not sure there's
He could really be anywhere on that side.
much point. Yeah. Like he could be roughly anywhere up along here, but we know.
Could he have plausibly got in from the red side?
I don't think so, based on where we moved that guy. So he could have gone 1, 2, 3. But because we brought this guy out in the first turn,
Oh, he would have heard him move.
he would have heard him move exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
So he's not. Yeah, he's
That'd be a
very.
bit cheating, Joe.
It's very unlikely that he's here.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's impossible.
It's impossible for him to be there. Yeah. So it's the likelihood is he's in this building somewhere or around this building, right?
Or
playing
potentially-
against-
or there.
potentially here.
Playing against
So,
Duncan
I
feels
mean,
really
I could.
unfair.
So I can definitely try to rule out. I mean, it's hard to rule out that he's here, but I can do a sweep here, can't
You
I?
can move into either of these spaces and sweep all 3 of them.
Oh, because there's a sweep one. There's a sweep one
One
turn.
action, yeah.
So with this guy,
Yeah.
I'm going to move into here,
Mhm.
and then what we'll do with him is we'll sweep the 2 adjacent spaces, and then we can rule out this.
You in there?
So
That's both red actions.
that's both red actions. So are you there?
No.
No. Right. Okay.
so
So
that,
we've ruled out there. So you
Yeah.
are over here.
so yeah, and I don't think now unless I've cocked this up somehow, right? But he could be 1, 2, 3.
Other words are available.
Apologise. Yeah, I don't think he could be here without us generating noise. So I
Right.
think that writes off him having come in here at all.
So so his objective could be 1 as well.
His objective could be 1, yeah.
So we know he's Yeah, so we know his objective could be 1,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be 9 or 8 as well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, his objective, we haven't necessarily ruled out that much because it could be any of these and he's coming this way, or it could be any of these and he's coming down that way. But as soon as we track down one bit, we can write off the other, basically.
Yeah.
Just as they're talking about it, don't look at the thing. I'm going to give chat a reminder of what my objectives actually are.
So, what's a good
Just going to
green
close
move
my eyes for
here?
a second.
Um,
Because I'm looking directly at the screen, which has
Sorry, it's all safe.
hands up.
We're all safe.
so, this is a tough
Oh,
move.
my guys are like done in like 20 seconds.
know, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I'm done.
So,
I think I want to move this guy, start moving him round,
yeah, I think that's a very good shout.
and I want to move this guy, start moving him round as well.
Okay. Yeah, the one thing we want to make sure is we don't leave too big a gap down here.
He'll run through.
Yeah,
Duncan,
so
you're the worst.
because if this guy can get to that space, basically that whole section is locked off.
Right.
So maybe if
Maybe
you
one
kept him
space.
here,
Yeah.
he can't kind of like sneak down.
Okay.
I mean, he can still move around,
still
but
move
it'll
around.
slow him down at the very least. You know.
Okay, let's go with that. All right.
So that's all you'll go.
Yeah. Closing in on you.
All right.
Just gonna. I know I'm gonna leave those out because that'll be a good reminder for us next time.
See, Duncan described this as defending, but it's actually hunting you down.
Defending the objectives.
Yeah.
I guess it depends how competitive you are, right?
Well, how competitive are you feeling right now, Jordan? Because you're looking
I'm
very
pretty competitive. I'm going to find you.
Okay, I'm going to. Going to write down on my board what's going on.
It's all gone to hell.
Well, the thing is, I want to look at the board now, but I don't need to look at where I'm looking at on the board.
Right.
I'm just going to hide.
You writing down, it's all going wrong.
Yeah, just big swings. Help!
SOS.
Right. Okay, I'm going to show chat. So again, don't look at me or the screen.
Okay, go.
Shut your eyes. Okay, putting this back down. Right, it's my turn done.
Are you done?
My turn's
Right.
so quick. It's like,
Right. See, I almost want to do a green scan now just to see if you've ran into that sector.
it does stab off.
There's no other way he could get out of yellow, is there, other than going into green? Well, he could be in white
Yeah.
because there's a little white sector up here.
Or he could still
These
be.
6 spaces here are
I mean, he could
neutral.
still be running around yellow.
He could, yeah. But if we ask yellow, then we can't use the yellow guys, which I think is.
But if I ask green,
It's
I
not
know
worth
I know I might know where his objectives are if he's moving towards green.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad shout.
Am I able to put use one of these cards at any point? Or
On your turn, yeah.
on my turn, okay.
Okay,
Cool.
so I am going to do an intel scan of green, black, now to see if you're in that.
Black. Sorry, which?
Yeah, so this.
This. So here.
Have you moved into there? Is what I want to know.
This is difficult for a colourblind person, just saying.
This should.
Then, no, I'm not in green.
You're not. Okay. So you're still.
He's either in yellow
I
or
think you're
white.
still.
I don't know, mate.
Still in yellow.
Please, no, Joe. You sure it's still yellow?
Huh?
You certain of that?
I think you are. I think
Okay.
you're still there.
Yeah.
So, to puzzle it out a little bit more, hypothetically, if he was coming from, if he's not in green now, then there's a good chance he's still heading for green, but let's assume we have green taken care of, and let's assume he's coming from green towards yellow, for the sake of argument, right? If he was going for 3, there's a good chance he could already have gotten there. So let's assume he's going for 2 or 4. Again, just for the sake of an argument. If he's going for 2, he's going to have come straight up here and trying to be sneaking down
I think
around here,
that's
which
totally
seems
what
likely
he's
to
done.
me. If he's going for 4, it's pretty well barricaded in anyway. And we probably don't need to worry about it for now. We could maybe move that red guy up there
No,
to
'cause
just totally block him off.
when
but
he completes an objective, we hear it, right?
yeah.
So, yeah. So 4, I don't think he can get away with without causing a lot of trouble there.
So we can't. So why don't we move this guy up towards 2 and just try and kind of close him
Box
in
him
there.
in.
And then basically we can't move this guy twice is the only thing. I think he's very unlikely to be there, so I don't see the point of searching with that guy. So maybe just start moving the other red guys up that
I think
direction.
so, yeah. So we'll move him to there. Yeah, and I guess we can move him out to here as well. I kind of still feel like he might be going for these.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we don't necessarily want to overcommit either, because if he
Yeah.
does get past us,
If
he
he
can move a
manages-
lot quicker than we do.
If he
So.
manages to get past us, he's in here, and there's no one to defend. So there needs to be someone left there to defend, I think. Yeah. Keep yellow defended. Number 4 defended. Who's moved? Sorry. So red's moved. So I've just got yellow moves left. So I think then I could probably. I'm thinking maybe I do a scan with one of the officer and try and find out if he's actually near me.
What if he came up here, right? He'd be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, maybe?
Is that the closest he could be?
I think so. I think that's the closest he could be without having alerted this guy to noise.
He could be. Could he be in
hang
any
on,
of these spaces?
This guy. Well, let me double check that again. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1. Yes, he couldn't have moved in there without this
Without
guy hearing.
alerting him,
So
he could be
he
there.
could be down here, definitely, or he could be up here. There's a decent chance he's in that space, and that would require checking that. That would require moving this guy over a bit.
I think at the minute he could move into number 2 without me detecting him if he took that back plank onto the U-boat.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think I'm going to move this guy into here
Okay.
just so you can't sprint by me.
Okay, so that's the one yellow action. We still got one more.
And this street feels pretty well defended to me now. So I'm just going to move this guy to here, just in case you are trying to move through that corridor there.
Good shout, thank you.
Right.
So you'll go?
Yeah, you feeling under pressure?
Not at all. Right. Stop looking at my eyes. You can see where I'm looking. John's a cheat, just saying.
Rotate this, turn it around. We're deliberately keeping the.
Okay, that's probably put you off if I rotate this around, doesn't it?
We're deliberately keeping the secret boards single-sided exactly for that reason, so you can't accidentally see
there's
what
no-
corner.
You can't tell which
Yeah.
side I'm looking at. Okay, just stopping Jordan looking at my face. Right. Okay.
Excuse me.
Your turn is quite, is much slower this turn than you seem to be more sure of yourself on your previous turns from this one.
Okay. I'm going to use one of my cards.
Okay.
Ooh. I'm going to have to do this and then go over it afterwards with chat as well.
It's getting tough to decide what to do next when you're surrounded, isn't it?
Actually, I'm not going to use one of my cards. Okay, what I'm going to do, where's my pen? Okay. I'm going to have to show the chat at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be using my gun.
Oh, you're shooting?
Okay.
Yeah.
I know where you are. You sure you want to take a shot?
Look, normally the enemy doesn't talk back.
But
Okay, are you ready?
Well.
Oh, we're going to find out, aren't we?
How many are you drawn?
I'm going to draw 4.
I need more than that.
Make sure they're good
This
and
is too
shuffled. 'cause
tense. Right, are you ready? I'm going to
Yeah.
do all of my stuff, so we're going
Okay.
to see. First shot.
One
Oh,
noise.
no.
One more.
Wait, should I do it in
more.
front of here? So that one's a noise token. Oh, sorry, here we go.
Yeah. So.
Bang!
Oh,
Okay.
that's one hit.
Bang!
Oh.
2 hits.
Noise!
Nice. So we know where you are.
Where are you?
Well,
So-
which order do you do this? Because this guy dies.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Okay, so he's dead.
But do you do it from where...
So you've killed the officer.
Where was Carl?
So Carl was where you thought he was.
I knew it.
So does anything
know
go
where
back
you are.
into my...
They all go back into your bag, yep.
Okay, no change. And...
So you get for killing an officer,
Yes.
you get a noise cancellation token.
Ooh, I like those.
But
And I'm going to
pretty
show...
sure I know your objective.
Well, maybe you do. And I'm just going to show... So you have to look away here. And that's where I took the shot from everyone.
Oh, I know where you took the shot from.
Yeah. Now, this is where he was when he shot. That's not necessarily where he was when he ended the turn.
Ah. The way
So-
you worded
Look at this!
that,
Look at this sad guy! Oh!
the way Rob worded that, though, I think.
What did I say?
You moved after you've shot.
Oh, to be honest, I have no idea what I even said. So maybe I
Slight
did.
tangent before we crack into this turn. Based on where he is, we can, unless he's really been just loitering around that corner for a long time doing nothing, which wouldn't be outside the realms, but I think is unlikely. I'm pretty confident he came in through the green entrance,
Yeah.
meaning we don't have to worry about 5, 6, or 7.
Yeah. I think so.
Just tie my shoelaces. It's all right. I'm getting abuse from you two, and then chat are almost like watching me squirm as well.
So, I know I can pretty much start moving my green squad down.
Yeah, I think so.
So, I'm going to start trying to pin you in now. So,
Nobody heard any noise after the noise of the gunshot, no?
Nobody heard any
Stop.
noise.
Okay.
moving him down. Going to start moving him down as well. So getting closer. Now, I want to make sure you don't escape this area. So you're gonna have to. I want to make you have to sneak out of this area and take all of your turns.
We move because I've done. Oh, never mind.
What?
Ignore me. I was just doing a wrong rule.
So
I'm glad we cleared that up.
No, I was thinking because of this guy here, but he's dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
So one thing we're going to do is, I think you're going.
Rudy says no one heard anything because I'm crouch running. It's a legit Sniper Elite 4 strategy.
So he could have moved after he shot.
Yep. So he couldn't be in this space though, right?
No,
Because
but
he would have
could
heard
be-
a noise.
He could be here, could he? Could be there.
I mean, he could have gone 1, 2, 3. He could be right in there.
I think that's unlikely.
I don't.
Really?
I reckon. Well, I mean, maybe he's better at this than I want to give him credit for. But
Yeah,
Wow,
I
that's
mean,
like
that-
offensive both ways. There's no way I come out of that.
So, just, just so we, wait, that's one turn, isn't it?
yeah.
I could just check to see if he's there.
Well, this is what I'm. So the two options are right. Stay where you are. If you think that's kind of tactically optimal to stay close to this road, and spot, and if he's in there, it'll add a noise token to his
Thanks,
bag.
Joe.
Because that's line of sight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Spotting.
Because it's an adjacent space, but this counts as a building, right? Or just move in there and attack. But if you think it's important enough to be out here to kind of listen out, then yeah, I see where you're coming from.
I mean, I kind of just want to go full on attack, to be honest. But then that would rely on us being pretty sure he's there already.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, we're pretty confident that's what he was going for, at least.
So do I have to be in there to attack?
You have to be in the same space to attack, yeah, other than the Jaeger, who can attack an adjacent space, and the...
So if I move him in there, I can call an attack.
Yeah.
And if he's in there, it hits him.
It hits him, yeah, and 2 hits and he loses the game.
Let's give it a go.
Can you move the same unit twice in one turn again?
No, but we only moved that guy,
yeah,
so
yeah,
we're
yeah.
mulliganing the last move. We're moving
Oh,
in 2
okay,
spaces
okay.
instead of 1.
So let's give that a go then. Are you there? I'm attacking in this location.
I might be there.
Have we got you already? Have you?
That's one shot for me, isn't it?
Is that it?
That's 1 hit, so
That's
2
one hit,
hits and you're out.
That's 2 hits. Right. I know you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still got the rest of your turn to do stuff, right?
Yep. I've still got yellow moves as well. Now I've got to.
Wow.
Now I've got to stop you escaping. So I mean, he moves to there because I want to try and hear you.
Do we just respawn this guy? He'll come back on his starting space,
Oh yeah,
which is
it could
just
be,
there.
couldn't it?
So
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. Is that
no. I mean, you can do both. Like you can.
is that one token?
That's 1 action.
Right,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Sorry.
let's
I want
respawn.
Duncan on my team.
They end up in the same space anyway, don't they? So,
Oh, close enough. Yeah.
so let's do that then. And that's my turn over.
Okay.
With you wounded and bleeding and crawling away.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to look at my cards.
Oh, it's just like E3.
What E3 have you been to?
I haven't been to E3. I'm making a mean joke because
You
I'm
are.
sad that I've never gotten to go to E3.
Right, okay.
But what's your next objective? That's the question.
Yeah.
So we're 1 objective down. Well, we don't
Well,
know.
he hasn't
no,
actually
no
completed it
objective's
yet.
been
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he gets to move and take 1 action. So his option is to shoot somebody or to complete the objective.
He has to choose.
Mm.
And I can take another shot at you again if you try and complete the objective. Is that right?
So if he completes the objective, he can then move out of the
I
space.
can move out as well. Right.
Okay, I'm going to take a shot.
You can try and kill him.
Yeah.
If
No, I'm
you-
going to try and just skin him.
If you don't kill him, aren't you dead?
I'm
Yeah.
doing 3 tokens.
Yeah, but you have to kill him to
Well,
win.
no, I get 2
Like,
turns.
What are you doing, Rob? What are you doing? Okay.
If you don't kill him, I get to shoot you again.
What, immediately? Is that a rule?
On his turn, like.
On my, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, what do I do?
Does he still? He gets to shoot and move though, doesn't he? So he could.
He does, yeah. But he'll have to come back here then on a later turn, unless this is like the riskiest bluff I've ever seen.
He's moved to an objective, but it's not actually his. Yeah, no, that's not happening. So, exactly. So, you're going to have to come back to this objective if you move away from it. So you have to kill him. That's a big risk.
Stop coaching me. I got this. This is easy.
You're sweating.
A little bit. All right.
You were really confident about shooting him a second ago.
I think I still am.
Naive is what you are.
Okay, I'm going to change my mind.
It's the pressure, cracking.
What I'm going to do is... Where have I put my cards? That's not them.
Your loadout cards.
My loadout cards. I've lost
You
them.
were looking at them a few minutes ago. That's the one you didn't pick. Kind of gone far. Are they? Those are the other objective cards.
I was literally just holding them because I was planning to use them.
Did anyone in the stream see where you put them?
Does anyone in the stream see where I put my loadout cards? Oh, no. Got them. I got them. No worries.
I didn't expect you to find you so fast.
I tell you what, Duncan is a killer machine. Like, he worked out a lot.
I wouldn't have mathsed this as much. I would have just gone for it.
Okay, I'm going to put a card down.
Ah, okay.
Should I show chat what I'm putting down?
So, chat, if he's playing a card face down, based on the selection cards we had available at the start, it's either a mine on his current space, or it's sound masking, which means he can run without alerting nearby defenders. So yeah, I mean, up to you. We can, if you think it's more fun for chat not to know or to know.
What happens if he puts a mine down on a location that already has an enemy?
So if the enemy ends their turn on that space, then they die. So if you kind of picture these as kind of like larger spaces that these guys are walking around, patrolling.
Okay. So if he puts a mine down, I should move away.
And I can't do more than one card at a time.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, this is so difficult. I want to do 2 cards, Duncan.
It's tense, isn't it?
It is tense. If I had 2 cards, I'd be all right. See, if I've got 3 options, basically. Okay. I'm going to use a card here. Okay, no, I'm changing my mind again. I keep changing my mind. I am.
I can't believe Rob's turns are moving so much quicker than our turns.
Yeah, I know.
He's really cracking under the pressure now. It's really showing. Duncan, were you saying before that he couldn't have 2 objectives in the same colour?
Yeah.
So we can.
Okay, I'm going to show chat what I've done.
Correct. Yeah.
I think.
I'm going to show.
You've stupidly gone into this dead end.
I'm going to show chat
I mean,
what
it's
I've
a
done. Look away,
hell of
everybody.
a bluff if he swung it. Like,
Look away. So I'm not going to say any more words because I'll give away what I've done. But that's my turn, and this objective's gone.
Okay, so okay.
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 So that objective is gone.
And did you use a card?
No, I used no card.
Okay, and did this guy hear a noise?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
So you ran away.
I ran
And,
away.
and nobody else heard
Nobody
a noise?
else heard any noise.
Oh, crap. Yeah, they did.
Who heard a
speed-
noise?
This guy heard a noise too.
Ah,
Okay.
So,
But
you
not
haven't-
not this
not
guy.
This guy.
This guy heard a noise.
Right.
Okay.
So you haven't gone this way.
Yeah. So, For this-
an objective is one turn,
I'm
right?
going out bravely, everybody.
is one action, yeah.
One
So,
action. So then he can move at any number of
up,
free
up to
spaces.
3 spaces, yeah. So he moved, so places he could have gone, 1, 2, he couldn't have moved into this space because this guy would have heard, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hang on, could he have gotten here?
But he could have.
Or alternatively, if he was very clever, and again, notice, just, I don't mean that as a dig, I mean like, it's not the kind of play you would think to make if you haven't played the game before, is what I'm getting at. You can't move, you can't double back on yourself, but he could have if he wanted us to make.
Wait, you can't double back on yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay.
So he
I
could-
haven't.
So
Okay.
you're thinking he could have gone this way
Exactly, yeah.
and like
So
made
theoretically,
a
yeah.
noise near him and then gone back that way.
And made us think he was moving down here.
Yeah, if he was being really clever,
If-
that's not the case, is it?
I'm confident, everyone. I've got
So
this. Got this.
my
That is
I
too
mean-
much credit.
my
All
instinct
right,
is
having
just
Duncan on your team.
move in here and attack and move in here and attack. Is I reckon. Like he has to be in one of those 3
You
spaces.
know that bit, Duncan, when you said, I'm not going to give much help?
Yeah, I know, and I'm sorry. I just really enjoy playing the game. I've been working on it for like a year now, but I still just get a great buzz out of it. So
It's like
sorry
turn
about
one,
that.
Duncan's like, well, he's probably here because he can't be over there and he's moving this direction.
So would
It's
it
like,
be, would it be the same thing though to just get him to spot either of these spaces?
I mean, you could sweep, but why wouldn't you just attack? Because we know, like we know he physically can't be anywhere else. There's nowhere else he could be because he can't. This guy has to have heard a noise, right?
Yeah.
And if he's like,
don't look at the camera a second, I'm just going to show chat where I
the
am.
maximum move is 3.
Yeah.
So like, he has to have moved through one of these 2 spaces,
Yeah.
and he can't move beyond them.
Yeah.
So I mean, he could have gone
We
1,
are
2.
a
Like
base, we are.
he can't. There's nowhere else he can physically
So-
be.
This guy can move 2 spaces and attack, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that.
Where are you attacking?
We're attacking in this space here. The space you might be in.
It's a miss.
It's a miss. Okay.
All
then
right.
We'll give this guy a go.
Ah!
Can we get an F
There you
in the
go.
chat, please?
No.
Got you.
You got me.
I'm sorry, Rob. I just got really into it.
You know what happened on the first turn? I was like, this is going all right. And the second turn, you go, well, he's got to be here. And I stood exactly there. And I was like, oh my God. Chat was like, Rob's doing his poker face. And you were like,
Yeah.
he's probably there. And I was like, oh, here we go.
Victorious.
Well done.
Um,
I got absolutely destroyed.
I'm sorry.
Are we witnessing workplace abuse?
Well,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, arguably, yeah.
That is definitely workplace
That was like incredibly fun though. Like,
Yeah, it's a good intense, isn't it? Well, I think like it's obviously tough, right? Because that's your first time ever playing as a
and
sniper,
getting
and
the yellow right on your first turn as well. I was like, well, do I back out and try and leave it? And I thought,
Yeah.
because at the time you were talking about these 2, and I was like, actually no, I'm just going to go for 2 because
commit.
you seem to have forgotten about 2 for like a turn. And I was like, right, I'm going to carry on
Well, I
going
mean,
for 2.
but the thing is, I thought you were going into green. That's why I scanned green. I thought you were on
Yeah.
your way through.
Well,
the
I
yellow.
thought that might be a bit obvious. I was like, because I came through white obviously, and then you went yellow straight away, but didn't talk about this corner. And then you were talking about green. I was like, I'm just going to go for it. And
Where
then
was your second objective?
number 9?
9.
Yeah, that's
So do you
tough
want to? I
because
can show you
we
exactly.
You would
Actually,
have really struggled
Like,
to get there.
Joel's
So-
positioning. Your positioning down here, like, did a really good job of kind of
Yeah.
not giving Rob any other option
So-
but to keep going for 2.
this is what I did.
You would have really struggled.
I went 1, 2, 3, turn 1, and then I went 1, 2, 3. And at this point you go, he's probably there, or he could be like here. And I was like, no. And then I went 1, 2, 3, because I think you had a guy there at the time, or there, one of the two places.
Yeah, there was a chap
somewhere around
here,
there.
yeah.
And then that's when we.
And then
knew,
at
that's
that
when we
point-
knew you weren't in green, so I kind of knew where you were going.
Yeah, at this point I was like, do I start putting mines down and stuff? I was like, I'm going to hold off. And then I moved, was it here, and you immediately shot me.
But I didn't. Yeah, I mean, Duncan for you were on the objective.
Duncan is a killer.
So
I'm not kidding.
I didn't think you were on the objective. I didn't think you'd gone straight for it.
Well, I tried to like double bluff you based on what you two were saying,
Yeah.
but it
You
didn't
did-
work
you-
out. Because
I
you actually
think
no, Duncan, Jordan was going for stuff, and then Duncan goes, actually no, if it's that, he's definitely going to go there. But then he goes, but he's not that stupid. I was like, well, fuck, I've gone right there.
So to answer your question, chat, right? This shows the level of thinking that can be involved, but the reason this worked for me is because Rob isn't as familiar with the game as I am. Other than the designers, have played this game more than anybody alive. And if I was in Rob's position, but playing against somebody with the level of experience that I have had, I would A, know a lot more of the kind of tips and tricks to try and double bluff this, but B, know the things it is I'm likely to puzzle out and try and make moves that would account for that. So like, you know, this one here, for example, right, that double back there, that would have spent both of these guys' turns, and then if both of those missed, because nobody's not going to take that bait, I kill one of these guys, probably the red guy, because he respawns all the way back here, and he can't respawn back here because the red officer's out of his starting sector, and I bolt.
So I couldn't bolt through this way though at the time, could I? On the way out.
Would, because this guy would have heard a noise, yeah.
Yeah.
But so what it does indicate is that it's, I mean, honestly, like what I've had come up when we played a bunch of games with the guys who came to PAX Unplugged last December, it's like, I don't want to describe it as a local meta because that sounds really pretentious.
I had
But like, you kind of,
those options I didn't use.
you get a read for the types of risks your friends are likely to take, and then start your kind of deduction starts. You start second guessing your deduction based on what you think they would do, and then they'll start changing their actions based on what they think you're going to guess, and it becomes this back and forth. And that's why I really like playing with like 3 players on the defenders team, because with some, because it's kind of co-op from this end effectively versus the sniper. With some co-op games, you'll get one person who's like, this is mathematically, this is the correct way to do it, and of course it's going to be here.
Counting out the exact spots I was on. when we were doing it.
But in this particular,
in contrast, to I'd go with my gut, and I will just go after you, like, you know.
yeah. But what I
what
like
I
about this
say.
is that like there's no the like objectively right thing doesn't exist, because it's the puzzle is a person. Do you know what I mean? So
I was almost
Well,
trying to play
like-
you two based on what you said early on.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was like, this is probably obvious, but you sidetracked yourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
That was what my play was to hopefully let you two play on each other.
It's like Duncan was saying to us earlier. It's completely viable to play this run and gun
Yeah.
as well. Like you can just run around taking shots at people.
Well, I did think what would happen if I was there and I just shot that guy and then moved, but not done the objective, and maybe left a mine on it.
Well, yeah, like
That would have been
that's-
interesting, yeah.
That was what my thing, but you talked me out of that one. I was like, and you were like, you sure you want to do that? And I was like, maybe not.
But yeah, I mean, you could go around doing like extremely risky, just planting mines everywhere, shooting everyone.
So-
And you almost wouldn't know where
Yeah.
you are.
Because you would have lost, was it a guy here? And then I was going to go probably, what's the quickest way out? 1, 2, and maybe hide here a turn.
I think.
And you might have checked that out and then got blown up again with the second
I
person.
really like that you can bluff by making noise near people as well.
Yeah. I mean, what you could have done, for example, right, because this guy was where here.
I think you had a
there,
guy.
right,
So
and
I
there's a
was
guy here.
there and you were, you came
Yeah.
into there.
So what you could have done is gone 1, 2, 3, right, and said this guy hears a noise, but this guy doesn't, and we would have gone, okay, well he has to have been down here somewhere. These guys move down. You duck back in. We think you've slipped away. You complete this objective,
could have
and
also-
maybe these guys have been brought up to try and pen you in, and you can just shoot
I
them,
dropped
sneak
maybe
past.
a mine around here at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you could have dropped a mine on your way.
to answer Barracuda's point, yeah, you're right. There's 2 copies of each loadout card, so you can choose what you want, but you can't have more than 2 of each type of thing.
Yeah, I think Abface's question, it's definitely Rob not taking full advantage of his options.
Yeah, but also you haven't played the game enough to kind of.
I wasn't playing the game. I was playing the mind games of you two.
True, yeah.
Yeah, but you can move extremely slowly as well. You don't have.
But I had no problem with moving.
You chose to basically sprint from the start because you had.
Yeah, maybe I should have gone slower.
You had an opening.
You got very lucky when you were revealed down here as well, because it just exactly confirmed our suspicions.
Yeah, if you could have taken that shot silently by chance.
Yeah.
And wouldn't really have known where you
Well,
were.
I only had 1 silent ammo, so I didn't want to burn it too quickly.
Yeah. Like the
Or I could have rolled risk.
drawing the 2 in 4 there was unfortunate.
That's fun.
And you probably would have had a clearer run, like if I didn't choose to use
Right,
it.
next time Jordan's being Karl, because I'm getting all the abuse still.
Yeah.
That's got Duncan on my team, that's all I need.
I'd quite like to keep playing the same format though. Like both of us just keep playing. You keep playing Karl and I keep playing this, and you know.
Well, when we played with Duncan playing as Karl, we were like you got both objectives, you won. But I think we were 1 turn behind you at the end, we couldn't quite catch up with you.
I can't quite. I think from what I remember, this has been a hell of a couple of weeks, that I was really, really penned in around the first objective. I think it had like 5 or 4 or something.
I think we were on that one.
So like it was a combination of like luck and smarts, but I'm good, like probably more luck than smarts. That got me out of that building because I've been penned in. But once I was past you guys, because you'd committed so much to drawing forward.
We actually knew where you were, but we just couldn't catch up.
Yeah, you were too far behind.
But that's kind of why you need, like, why I was saying here about leaving a guy behind, just in case you slip through.
Yeah.
Then you just have no one.
Completely,
like,
yeah.
You could, if you'd have managed to slip through towards red, it would have been really hard to catch up with you.
That's what I was hoping. I was hoping this guy was going to come around here, and I was going to do my sound masking for 1 turn and just go dook, dook, dook. But
one option for the defenders that hasn't actually come up and that I haven't mentioned at the start is that we can take an action to dismiss a unit. So, for example, let's say a couple of more turns had played out and Karl was down here somewhere, and this guy was still stuck up on the boat. We could dismiss him for an action and then as a later action respawn him, but it's just expensive, but it prevents a soldier from being kind of stuck uselessly somewhere.
If you had your whole team down in yellow or something.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
there we go.
Yeah,
That was fun.
I want to keep playing.
Well,
The office is chatting soon, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah, but we can.
We're going to do a stream next week as well, right?
Well, Tuesday's the last day.
Okay,
so
do you want to do a Tuesday stream?
Maybe we're
do
do
just
a
planning
Tuesday
our streams on stream now.
Oh, I was supposed to announce the stretch goals. So we have, drum roll please, the final 2 stretch goals for Sniper Elite
We had a
board
zoom on
game
your face right now.
are going to be announced right now, and I'm going to put them up on the Kickstarter page. It'll take me about an hour and a half to drive home, and then about a half an hour to eat. So about a half an hour after that.
Are you going to announce them right now?
I'm going to announce them right now. So at 65k, which we're extremely close to already, we are going to include diving equipment.
Diving equipment?
Which will allow the sniper to move through
Why
these
haven't
water
you got that in
spaces.
there now? I could have done with that. I could have jumped there.
It works in the same way as the sound masking. So it's not just interesting in that it gives you this kind of option to move through these spaces. It's also interesting in that it's one other thing for the defenders to second guess when a card is played face down. And then
if only we'd done this stream like an hour later, I could have been scot-free away.
And then at 70k, we are going to announce or we're going to unlock the last map.
Ooh.
So we've got another map which we're going to include in the base game, which is the submarine pens. So it's an indoor map on a similar theme to this one, kind of a similar location, and it has a height element whereby, kind of similar to for the life of me, I'm blanking on the name of it, the last level in Sniper 4.
Of the DLC or the main game?
Fortress, where you're kind of moving on the walkways above everybody. It kind of has a similar mechanic to that, where you can move kind of below the walkways or above the walkways, and the soldiers can spot up and down a walkway, but they can't move into it. And it just creates this really interesting kind of spatial puzzle.
That'd have been really
and
cool.
that's going to be unlocking at 70, which we're extremely close to. So hopefully by the weekend,
tell all your friends, everybody.
We will have unlocked all of the stretch goals and can make a big hoo-ha and lots of excitement about it for the last 48 hours. So I'm very, very excited.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I think on that note, we're done, aren't we?
Thanks, folks. Yeah,
think
this
so.
was a lot of fun. I'm sorry.
It's going to go home.
I'm sorry I bullied you a little bit.
It wasn't just the bullying. It was like turn 2. It was already, he's probably there. That's what it was. And then knowing you're exactly right every time you talked about something, it was just like, sinking closer, just wanting to cry more and more.
That's the thing, though. If you had 2 players who, understood probability really well, like it's not a sniper and a defender, then it's going to get really interesting on that end as well.
So, a couple of questions in the chat. Sorry,
Go
because
on.
I've just noticed it. Do other maps have water? Yes, 2 of them. Are the 3 new maps smaller than this map? So they're the same. Physically, they're the same size as this one, and they're roughly the same number of spaces. The 2 indoor maps, the Subpens and the Eagle's Nest, are a smaller scale. So the kind of, in terms of like mechanically in gameplay, it's identical, but the kind of strategy is a little bit different because they're kind of tighter corridors and stuff. Then Rudy, who needs friends first, and then they'll tell them.
Solo mode as well, though.
There's a single player mode, I was about to say.
Yeah.
You can play the game on your own. The Kickstarter, if you go to reboreb.to/sniperks, that'll get you there, or I'm sure Rob will put up a link in the chat any minute.
Ogre, could you put the link in chat now, please? Oh, I can write it in, can't I? Actually, no, I'm currently on a different account.
It's also on our Twitter as well. There'll be a link on Twitter.
It's on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's,
There we go. Rudy's got the link.
Perfect. Rudy, if you could put it in. Perfect. Thank you very much, folks.
Good job.
And yeah, let's figure out a Tuesday stream, and then let's stream on Tuesday.
Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, don't forget to follow us on Twitter. We've got link down below, Twitter, Facebook. What's the Rebellion Unplugged Twitter name?
I'm pretty sure it's Reb_Unplugged.
Reb_Unplugged for Twitter for that. And we've got Discord down below if you want to just say how bad I was at the game tonight. That's always fun.
If everyone could drop in and say that.
Yeah. Other than that, we'll see you at some point next week, I'm sure.
Great. All right. Thanks,
See you
folks.
later. Thank you.
Thanks.